used to go down it, it'd be all dirt and things. I used to remember back on Francis trailer, I'd be in that. Yeah, that house there, that's the little bedroom at the back of it. There it is. Them lovely houses around here.
That's nostalgic for you, isn't it? 'Cause you know,
Yeah.
know you were around. That's what I like to see. Nice bit of
Got a
green.
water pump there, look, Chris.
Mm.
I can remember being on that and the boys saying about gay men, or about lesbians, or homosexuals.
Mm.
Remember the lads talking about, I can't remember now. That's the pub we went in. The Duke of Wellington.
Wellington, yeah. Very nice it was too, sat at the bar.
Yeah. Enjoyed that, didn't we?
Yeah, I did. So that cake shop I see, was that the church? That must have been the church.
There's the church
there
there.
where we went. So I just went in and got us a couple of cakes, didn't I?
We'll go down there where my school is and take a photo out and take photos and be on here.
There's a nice cake shop. Shut.
Yeah. Used to be a little sweet shop halfway up here.
Mm.
Oh, British
School.
Legion. It's still the British Legion.
School, isn't it? This.
Well, it's a Legion now. I was in class in that
Social
once.
Club.
Well, it used to be the Legion.
So it's a grammar. British schools, 1856.
Then end.
Is that still
This used to be the playground, this bit.